you know, the Ubuntu United Nations is about you as delegates. So we also want to take this opportunity to have the voice of the youth, voice of your voices as delegates. So I'm going to be opening the platform for some of the delegates to speak on the topic about interreligious and intercultural dialogue. I'm going to start off maybe by Hanan AlDabbas from Syria. I'll just give a brief bio. Hanan AlDabbas is a Syrian delegate of the Ubuntu United Nations who is 22 years old. He has with experience in social activism. She is here today to talk about intercultural dialogue and bridge building. Over to you, Hanan.
Hi everyone, can you see me?
Yes, we can. Please
Hi,
go
how are you?
ahead.
Yeah,
Very well, very well.
thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure for me. Let me thank you for having me here in this seminar about building bridges. As a person of a Syrian nationality and still living here in Syria, I was able, luckily for me, or unfortunately, to sense the actions of building bridges, and be part of some of these actions here in Syria. Not speaking only about myself, I'm speaking about Syrians in general who have been and have seen and have been through a lot of violence actions. I'm not here only to talk about what we've been through or anything that reminds us of it. I mean, the sad part of the story. I'm going to speak about how us, volunteers, social activists, and families have harnessed everything that we had to step forward and build bridges between us and between the cities that were heavily affected by wars. Every time we planned every time we planned for a project, we only and we have heavily tried to direct our attention to the cities that were heavily affected by conflict, similar to war zones. From defining the destinations, we started our journey in the post-relief mission. We have done our searches and found out that children were heavily devastated and some of them were unable to get back to their daily life routines, such as doing their simple life tasks, playing games, or running around. That's why we have chosen to come and step forward and go to the schools that have the biggest numbers of children and speak to them and have some counseling sessions with them, whether one-on-one or focus groups, and listen to their struggles, understand how life is going on with them. This actually enlightened us, not only from the psychological part, but also to understand how they are leading their lives. After these sessions, we have discovered that many parts of the students, especially the senior students who have exams to perform at the end of the year, were actually struggling with the lack of electricity in their homes, and the shortage of gas made their houses feel like Eskimos after the sunset. After this discovery, we have decided that us, social activists and partners from different organizations, that we should do something to help students to, we can say that we are trying to build bridges between us and them and help them to to go back to their life situations. I want to also reiterate that everything we did, we have never cared about their cultural backgrounds or their religious backgrounds. All we cared about is that we are dealing with people like us, with people that have the same right as us to live and perform their daily life tasks. So what we've done So what we've done is that we have rented a small house in the city, borrowed a generator, and we kept this house open for them to come every day after they finish school to study and get warm. This post-relief project turned into a development project, and our focus on children and teens in general highlighted for us the most affected segments, which were the senior students. Here and until now, we are still living some of these difficulties: shortages of gas, electricity, petrol, or water that have become part of our daily lives. But what enlightens my heart is that when I see other people from different nations trying to share this hope with us to a better world, to a world that has no conflicts, that has no wars, that has a better life for us all as families and as partners and as individuals in this earth. And now I want to thank Ubuntu United Nations for giving me their mic and showing me personally that I am because of you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Hanan, and thank you so much for your inspiring, testimony that you shared about what you are doing. Uh, you know, Taking action for students who are in need with the initiative of the house. Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for inspiring us today. So from Anan, who's in Syria, we now fly all the way to Trinidad and Tobago. And from Trinidad and Tobago, we are going to have a presentation by Katrina Khan Roberts. Just a short bio. Katrina Khan Roberts is a delegate of the Ubuntu United Nations and an advocate for climate change and ocean literacy. She dreams of a day when humans and the environment can find a balance towards a sustainable future for all, but also a world where there's interreligious dialogue. And she has the privilege of experience in her family and in her and community of what it means to live in peace despite having different religions. So, Katrina, over to you to share your story.
Hi, good greetings, everyone. Right, I was trying to unmute and it didn't allow me to. So I'm so sorry. You might go ahead. You might hear a little bit of movement in the background with my kids, but I am from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, and I am a young woman. I'm 34 years old, and my lived experience living on these small islands is that we have cultures from all over the world that have come to this very small island and all live together. So in my chats, you would have seen I said, I'm Roman Catholic, my dad is Muslim, my mom is Roman Catholic, my husband is Hindu, my father-in-law is Christian. So we have the entire range of religions living in our household. So it's really interesting in our little country that, we have brought together so many different races, cultures, and yes, it has caused some contention over time. But what I found is that we all want to live happily together. So if we're given the opportunity to do so, as well as our leaders giving the guidance that we need to have that kind of framework, it is possible. So in 1973, we had the interreligious organization developed, which creates leaders from every single, yes, and this is my daughter, and I have my son. Yes, and so at the beginning of every national event, we have multiple religions represented. We have multiple cultures represented. Every single religious holiday is celebrated here. And it's just such a really nice thing to experience. Me growing up, I didn't have to deal with a lot of the things that, in terms of racial tensions and, ethnic tensions, because we have everybody's food is enjoyed here, everybody's religion is celebrated here. So I just wanted to share that with you all, that it is possible. Yes, there will always be humans that want to divide and see our differences, but then there's also an opportunity for us to live together as one. So thank you so much, Ubuntu. I'm very happy to be here, and I wish for prosperity for all of us. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Katrina, and thank you for, even sharing your family with us today. Your beautiful kids. We are truly honored. And wow, I need to visit Trinidad and Tobago to experience, the multicultural atmosphere that you indicated. And it is indeed beautiful to see, how we as humans are one human family, branches of the same tree, despite, our religion, our creeds, our race. And this is the beauty of Ubuntu. So thank you so much, Katrina, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. And thank you so much for coming and sharing your stories. Hanan, all the way from Syria, thank you so much once again.